Hi, this is Harry Wrinklesack reporting live for Caution Real Radio. I'm here today with our new dictator. I know it's crazy because the United States has always been about democracy, but for some odd reason they gave up democracy and let it be a dictatorship. I don't know what happened, but I'm here with the new guy, and it's our very own merchandise Eddie Stanley from Caution Real Radio. Hey, how you doing? I'm doing good. A little confused, but I mean, I'm glad it was somebody. What made you run for it? Well, I was looking at the country and I thought to myself, hey, well, since there's no more democracy and they might as well have a dictator, I figure I'll run from the job, since I'm the only person that somewhat speaks the truth. Well, that is true. You do speak the truth quite often. Yes, I do. So I figured, hey, I might as well do it. I just didn't know it was a snowball chance in hell that I truly won. Yes, that is truly a snowball chance in HE double hockey sticks. Well, I have a couple questions for you, and feel free to elaborate. What I guess the first question I have is, what made you run? Well, that's a good one, Harry. Please call me Wrinklesack. Yeah, I'd just rather call you Harry. Anyway, Harry, what made me think about it was I saw that it was up and I went, hey, I might as well go for it. I mean, what do I have to lose? Okay. So I figured I might as well just throw it all in the table and just say, hey, let me see if I can win this. And that you did. You really did win this. Um, so I guess my second question for you is, well, how do you plan on doing? Well, what do you plan on doing to change the United States? Well, first off, see, that's the thing. Everybody thought that I was going to just straight up say the country of America is going to be called Stanville or Merchandise Land or whatever. No, it's still going to be United States of America. Well, yeah, it's still going to be the good old USA. The only thing is, it's going to be ran a little bit different. How so? Well, I want to try to eliminate the whole, how do I put it? Wussification of America. Wussification? Yes, wussification. Well, what's wussification? Well, Harry, wussification of America to me is where everybody is special. I mean, you have great athletes in the NFL, but they truly work their tail off to get to where they need to be. Same thing with any sport. Same thing with actors. Same thing with doctors, engineers, teachers, all that stuff. The only thing I have a problem with is the generation that's coming after mine with, okay, you get a participation badge for just playing baseball or football. Well, I played a little bit of little league, yes, but the way you sound, it make it sound like you pretty much lost a couple times being on. Well, I never said I was that good. That's why I'm a reporter for you, and I appreciate that, Harry. I really do. You are one of the best reporters that I ever picked up. Well, thank you, sir. Yo, you don't gotta say sir and all that. All that, yeah, just call me merchandise or either call me Eddie or Stanley. Well, which one is it? Anyway, see, you getting off the topic. Oh, okay, I'm sorry. Well, next question. How do you help, or what would you do to help bring money into the economy? Well, the first thing I want to do is try to help the urban communities. I mean, for instance, I can sit here and talk about Detroit. Since Detroit has always seemed to be the city that always get the worst thrashing in the USA, how about we just do this? In Detroit, we can actually make it where we take some of the churches that's downtown, okay, and put them on 8 Mile, and take the strip clubs that's on 8 Mile, that's around residential communities and all that stuff, move it downtown. Just move it downtown. That way, guess what? You can have revenue coming in from the casino, from the strip club. Also, you can have revenue coming in for concerts and events. That way, you can still worship God and don't have to go downtown to actually say, hey, well, this is what's going on, so, let me do it. Okay. Well, when you do that move, what about the homeless situation in America? Well, the homeless situation in America is easier said than done. I'm going to need funding, and this is what's going to make it messed up. The homeless in America, and this is what makes it so sad, because some of our homeless people served our country where they said, hey, protect our freedom. And then they come home and they have nothing to show for protecting the country that pretty much are done with them. How so? Well, look at it this way. It could be old vets coming in from now, or like from any type of war. Probably an amputee, honestly, probably suffering from, I can't think of the name of it, but like where they have war nightmares where they just think that they still there, but there's no medical or anything. Well, I mean, the government do provide. Yes, they provide, but the problem is from other countries, like take Canada for instance. Most people just know that Canada is a country where you get free healthcare. And it's great, it's cool, but you know how they make up the difference? How? From sources that told me, they make up the difference because of taxes. And I know everybody's saying, ooh, taxes. But guess what? Canada does it. Canada probably put 17 to 20, last I checked, on taxes, well, off $1. And guess what? That can pay for free healthcare, which means that, honestly, I don't see why the United States can't do it. Well, we gotta work for our healthcare and all that stuff, which is true, Harry. But in a way, I look at it as, if you served our country, you should be free for life. Because honestly, they were willing to do something that I truly don't have the balls to do, and that's to go risk my life to keep our freedoms. Because like I said, even though this is a dictatorship now, I still plan on keeping the amendments and all the good stuff that made this country what it is. Okay, well, that still didn't answer the homeless question. Well, I'm glad that you brought that up. Pretty much what would you do is, we have to try to find funding somewhere. And I know what people are saying. They will hate the idea, but hey, if you need cities to actually make an income, guess what? If you got stuff downtown, I don't see the problem with a red light district. Whoa. Why a red light district? We don't need that. How you figure? Well, think of all the crime that happened. Yes, but also with the crime that's going on, you can provide more money coming into whatever city, whatever state that has that red light district. And guess what? That income can actually pay for more law enforcement, more police, or, well, yeah, more police, more fire department, even more EMTs. Well, I don't think that'd be a good idea because, I mean, would you put in the suburbs? You know what, Harry? I probably would put in the suburbs. Why? Because it makes no difference of where people go for the red light district. My whole thing is, as long as you can tax it, you can make a profit. I mean, granted, we're already trillions of dollars, probably billions to trillions in debt because of certain things that we did. Well, what are you saying? Well, see, that's why I look at myself honestly as a liberal Republican. Certain views that the Democrats say or do, I agree with. Some of the stuff that Republicans do, I agree with. I just plan on adding both of them together and go, hey, this might work, this might not work. This might work, this might not work. Well, how do you think the people of this country is going to respond to that? Well, honestly, it could be a dictatorship where I force the issue, or I actually listen to the opinions. I know all the opinions is going to be different. I know some of the opinions is going to be just far-fetched. But the problem that I'm truly seeing with this country is the factor of, if you just add a little bit to both, you can get the bigger picture. How so? Well, the bigger picture is this. I understand that EBT and welfare, it does help. Heck, I would like to have it myself, but this is what it boils down to. Somebody that decide they want to keep milking the government, I don't see that being right. You should have a time limit on there, because my whole thing is, with a time limit, guess what? That means that you're going to have to get up off your behind and actually contribute to this country that give you the right to have however many kids you want to. Well, good points, good points. Well, see, you got sidetracked. What about the homeless? See, you keep bringing that up. You trying to make me sound like one of them politicians by beating around the bush. This is what I would do with the homeless. Plain and simple, if we get revenue in, we can actually build shelters. And I'm not talking about the shelters where, oh, you can leave and this. No. I'm talking about the shelters where they will help you get on your feet, where they will help you try to do whatever to actually make a better life for yourself, so that way you don't have to sleep in 100-degree weather in the summertime if you stay in the Midwest, or freezing cold temperatures if you stay on the East Coast in the wintertime. Well, even with that being said, of you rebuilding, what about military and all that? Oh no, the military gonna stay intact. Well, I heard inklings that you're planning on changing the military. Yes, I plan on challenging them, because there's no, like, in my dictatorship, there's no such thing as Army, Navy, Air Force. You know what? The Marines will still have to stay by themselves, because the Marines, I give much props. They can come in, wreck shop, and then leave. But the other three, how about we just put them as, what's a name I can use? Agents. Agents? Agents. Well, why is that? Because, well, see, I'm an avid video game person, and one of the best squads that I was ever a part of was the Agents. If you want to know about the Agents, all you gotta do is look on YouTube, because we smashed plenty of crews when we was on Max Payne 3 and Grand Theft Auto 5. You know what? Even Red Dead Redemption, to all my diehards out there. Shouts out to all y'all. What's a shout out? It's a hood thing. You don't understand. What's a hood thing? You know what, Harry? Let's move on. Go to the next question. Okay, well, since you answered that, let's see what else was tickling my fancy. Okay, well, also, what about racism? Whoa. See, I'm not touching that. I'm not touching it. Well, you're the person of the people where you talk about everything. Yeah, but look, hey, I already did a show about that. Let's move on. Next question. Next question, Harry, please. Well, how do you feel about the gay and lesbian community? What about it? Well, I know there must be restrictions. How so? Well, you really want to legalize them to get married? If that's what make them happy. Well, what about what it says in the don't bring religion into this. If you go talk to me, we not bringing religion into this. My whole thing is plain and simple, straight to the point. If you're happy being with the same sex or the opposite sex, as long as you're happy, you're not hurting nobody. It's not one of those situations where, oh my gosh, you can't do it. That's the same thing. That's the same thing with, should they adopt? Well, should they? I don't see the point of why they shouldn't. Because my whole thing is, if they can provide a loving home, what's the problem? Well, wouldn't that turn you know what? See, I'm not touching that because that don't have nothing to do with it. My whole thing is, you're born that way. If anybody disagree with me, well, guess what? Disagree with me, I don't care. Let's move on. Okay, well, it sounds like you got this dictatorship under control. Not really, because I truly going to need help with this. Well, how are you going to need help when you actually know what you're doing? I never said I know exactly what I'm doing. I'm just saying that with all the problems that the United States are having, I don't see the point on why we have to keep fighting and arguing and trying to see what's best for this country, where a lot of wars that you fighting, you really shouldn't have to fight. Such as, well, that same thing with the immigrant situation. I know I'm going to turn a lot of people off to the side and they go, oh, okay, well, this is it. My whole thing is, I truly don't understand on why somebody can come to this country and actually own something, don't get taxed, and then once their time limit is up, they can bounce, sell it to their cousin or whatever family member, take the money that they made in this country and go home. I don't see the point to that. Well, that's the right. Well, see, you know what? Here's the problem I have. And this should show you how old it is. There was a famous president that got on TV when it was black and white, where you could turn knobs and all that crap, where he said, the United States of America is the land of opportunity. So for anybody that's part of other countries, give us your weak, give us your poor, give us your elderly, give us your sickly, give us. Well, right now we need to buckle down. That shouldn't apply to the United States anymore, and that's just my opinion. Well, don't you think that's kind of harsh? No. The reason why I say it's not harsh is because right now we need to fix our country. As myself, we're going to fix the country under my watch. Because even though it's a dictatorship, I do plan on running, instead of 4 years, I'll say 6 years. And instead of 2 terms, let's extend it to 3. Because we already established that, yes, an African American man or a black man can run the country. The only difference is all the people that's in the way that's disagreeing because they look at America as a different type of way is foolish. Straight to the point is foolish. My thing is, while you're concentrating on fighting certain things and this bill shouldn't pass, this bill shouldn't pass. I agree. Certain bills shouldn't pass because they're outrageous. My whole thing is, for instance, can am I allowed to speak freely? Well, you know what, merchandise is your show. I mean, you would be able to speak freely. Cool. The problem that we have in this country right now is the factor of affirmative action. Yes, affirmative action really put us in situations where racism actually is getting taken away. Let's face it. You can sit here and say, "Oh, well, now everybody got an equal playing field." No, they don't. But that's that's a past show. I already talked about that. But I feel affirmative action would have helped in certain cases. Well, how so? You know what? I can't elaborate on it because it no longer exists. So let's move on. Well, I guess the next question or last question, and feel free to take all the time you have. If for you to find this to be a successful dictatorship, what needs to happen? Good question, Harry. What needs to happen is we need to find some type of unity. We need to actually have it where different cities, regardless of how the major cities or the cities that get put on the news, actually try to muster up the cash to actually help repair the inner cities that has the drugs, that has the prostitution, that has the homeless, that has any form of walk of life. Because the one thing I truly did realize just by listening to a famous comedian, where certain shows and certain type of music does make you see different things. We step over the homeless because we look at the homeless and look at them and go, they're probably gonna use it for drugs. That's not all of them. We are so quick to judge a book by its cover, where you really don't know what is going to become of certain friendships, become of certain things. I'm not asking for this country to see eye to eye on everything. That's the same thing with my dictatorship. I don't plan on everybody seeing eye to eye. But my thing is, when you fight for different stuff that honestly makes no type of sense, you can't grow as a country. Democrats and Republicans have truly dropped the ball. And I can say that. They're so busy of trying to put America as an image of their parties that, quite frankly, if they just worked together, it wouldn't be. It would truly be a lot more peaceful unity type thing, because honestly, right now, I'm looking at the stuff that you might not want to do. Same thing with me adding a red light district into every state. Yeah. It makes people go, "Oh my gosh, what are you planning on doing with this country?" I plan on making the country money. I plan on making the country not have debt. I plan on making a country where you can truly look and say, hey, I'm a part of this. I may not agree with the red light district, but at least the red light district helped a school from closing. It helped pay that teacher that reached out to the students. It helped that police officer to get there quicker to save somebody's life from being robbed in their house. It saved a house that was on fire and saved the person that the fire person end up coming out or end up running into the building, that showed all types of bravery, that risked his life to save that 7-year-old child that was trapped in the house. That's what it boils down to. Nothing else. It boils down to trying to build. Yes, it is a lot of stuff that you don't want in this country, but guess what? Deal with it. This is what it breaks down. And if you hear the tone of my voice, yes, it means it's serious. Yes, I do have a problem with it. And yes, I am ticked off at the factor of we can do so much if we actually start being responsible. Putting a red light district into different parts of the country, even if you put the red light district in the cities of going, oh my gosh, the children, be a parent. Tell the kid. Try to prevent the kid. Because by the time that kid grow up, this country should be well enough. Therefore, you don't need the red light district no more because you have the schools to actually provide. You don't have to keep raising up cost of living. You don't have to keep doing stuff that actually eliminates the middle class. There's no such thing as middle class from when I was little. Now either you're rich or you're poor. Plain and simple. I see every day of people struggling to support their family. But guess what? Hey, as long as the rich stay richer, who gives a crap about those who actually struggle? The one thing I can truly say is thank you for bringing up minimum wage. The problem with that is how much does it cost? Because honestly, in certain wars, we shouldn't have to fight. Certain things, we need to actually save money instead of being a country that's about materialistic things. I am a victim of that. Anybody who's listening to the show is probably a victim of materialistic possessions. I'm not going to sit here and preach because guess what? I'm not a pastor. There's no point. The problem that I truly need to fix as being the dictator of the United States is the factor of sometimes you truly do got to get your hands dirty to actually, you know what? No, I'm not going to say that. I'm going to say something that has always been said. And look, forgive me for my language, but here's the truth. Either you could swallow it or ignore it or say this black man is crazy, but not using the B, but not using black, but using the N word. Sometimes you have to go through hell just to make it to heaven. This is not a political thing. This is not a religious thing. Any culture knows, any religion knows, any race knows. For you to actually smell like roses, you have to probably go through a mile worth of crap. That's all I have to say about that because honestly, I'm here. I am the merchandise Eddie Stanley. But as your dictator, there's no merchandise. I'm not a merchandise. I'm not going to be materialistic. It's just me, Eddie Stanley. 100% genuine black man that was born in Detroit, Michigan. I would say God bless America, but I don't want to offend anybody. So I'll say, let's make this country right. And I need your help and support. Wow. Well, that was powerful, Eddie Stanley. I know. Well, this has been Caution Real Radio with the breaking news with our new dictator merchandise. Well, the new dictator, Eddie Stanley, that plan on making a difference whether you like it or not. This has been Caution Real Radio. You can find us on Twitter at Caution Radio. You can email any ideas or anything you want to talk about to Real Radio, Caution Real Radio 7 at gmail.com. This has been a presentation of Caution Real Radio. I have been enlightened, and I am your host for this little segment, Harry Wrinklesack. One love, everybody. One love. Man, don't say that. Well, what do you want me to say? Anything than one love. Well, I can't say this. Party on, everybody, and let's have fun for this dictatorship. Ha ha!